Welcome to the channel, everyone. So the very first thing I wanted to go over were the 36 confirmed Planeswalkers for War of the Spark. I can assure you no one is more excited about this set than me. Okay, maybe like 2 people in the world are more excited about this set than me. But my biggest hope was that Aminatu was going to make a reappearance here in the story, but she doesn't have a window, so most likely she won't appear, even though Mark Rosewater did tell us that there will be walkers who don't get cards that will appear in the story, but I'm not very hopeful that she's going to appear. So I'm just going to jump right in. We're going to go over the ones that are confirmed. We're going to talk about where the last place we saw them were and try to make some predictions for the end of War of the Spark. So let's jump in there. All right, so we've got Samut here. The last time we saw Samut, she was on Amonkhet. The whole Amonkhet story had just finished. Hazoret was the only remaining goddess left. She's missing an arm. I like her, so she moves really fast. That's like the power she has. The next picture we have here is Bolas himself. Big surprise. We all knew he was going to be there. This is the culmination of his arc. The last time we saw him was actually his prequel story in Dominaria, where we learned, in Core 19, M19, where we learned about him and Ugin and how he was in fact not the first Planeswalker in the universe, but Ugin actually ascended before he did. I see Ashiok. Ashiok, I don't know much about Ashiok other than he experiments but it looks more masculine. And there's a comic panel in which he's referred to as a him. But Ashiok likes to eat nightmares and read about nightmares and, use those to manipulate people. He hasn't been said to be on Bolas's side, but it wouldn't surprise me if he turns to Bolas's side during the fight. Next, we have Jaya Ballard. She's on her last leg. I think we keep getting hints that, she's dying and she's headed towards death, and she's okay with death. We know that she's made peace with the fact that she's no longer an immortal Planeswalker. I think her sole purpose in returning to the story was really to, set up Chandra for becoming the pyromancer of the universe, and I think of the multiverse. And I think Jaya has fulfilled that problem, so she'll probably end up sacrificing her life in the story, maybe to protect Chandra. Tibalt is here, the worst Planeswalker of all time, card-wise. He's going to get a new card. I'm excited for that new card. I hope it is just as bad as the old card, just as an ongoing joke of that villain, I want to make Tibalt that villain. All right, the next walker we have, a lot of people suspect that it's Mu Yanling. I have my reservations. To me, it's a huge character design change from what Mu Yanling already looks like. An addition of a new weapon. It looks like she's cut her hair some, switched up her colors. Her face is hidden. I personally think it's a brand new walker. Lincord is here. In her art, it looks like behind her there's a series of wolves that she's bringing to the fight. I don't know if they are natural wolves or if they are werewolves, but I guess we'll find out in story. There's Ob Nixilis. It's said that he will be working alongside Karn and who is it? Karn and Dak Faden in the novel, which is really surprising. You wouldn't think Ob would want to work with any Planeswalkers. And then we have Jiang Yanggu, one of the 2 Global Series Planeswalkers, the Mystery Walker we just looked at. This would be her counterpart. That's why people really think it's her. Mostly is because of his confirmation, but I could see them splitting up. All right, next is, in fact, Davriel Kane. Now, I was in doubt as to whether or not this was actually him, but someone in the comments on another video led me to the actual art that WotC had released with him and the other art of him sitting in the chair with the gold mask together. So it is in fact Davriel Kane. I guess he just has two suits and one gold mask and one black mask that they didn't want to mention. But here he has a black mask. It is in fact Davriel Kane. Golgari Queen Vraska is here. Currently she's on Bolas's side, but we all know that Jace has his one-up that's going to release her memories, and she'll end up coming to the Gatewatch's side, and she may even be the one to, turn the whole tide so they can beat Bolas. Kaya is here. She made a deal with Bolas that if she came to Ravnica and killed the Obsidat, the Ghost Council of the Orzhov, that he would take care of her family, make sure that they weren't poor. She can turn her body incorporeal and phase through things. Now we have Liliana. Poor Liliana. Last we saw her, Bolas had appeared on Dominaria as she was trying to walk away with the rest of the current Gatewatch and figure out how they were going to defeat Bolas. He shows up like, ha! You killed your demons, Liliana. He sounds a lot like Tybalt, apparently. You killed your demons. You got rid of your demons, Liliana, but I'm the one who has the actual smallest print in your contract. You belong to me. I would really love to see Liliana turn from a pure black, self-absorbed character into one of the good guys. And in the Oath, in her art in the Oath, you can't see it. If you're reading the story, you know that Liliana put her hands behind her back and crossed her fingers when she was making the Oath. We have Gideon. Gideon will die. I'm so excited for Gideon to die because I am ready for his whole "I'm so good, nothing can hurt me" attitude to be out. Jace is here. Jace should be at his most powerful. This is the most complete I believe we have ever seen Jace as far as his mental faculties go. Back on Ixalan, the last place we saw Jace, got all of his memories returned to him very violently, by the way, and Vraska got to share in the return of those memories and see some of the traumatic things that he had went through. Saheeli Rai. Hopefully she'll die. That's as much as I'll say about her. She, last time we saw her was on Kaladesh when Watley walked over. Sarkhan is responsible, I know, for going back in time and saving Ugin from the original battle in which Bolas won against Ugin. The whole Khans of Tarkir. Narset wasn't a planeswalker in one reality. When he went back and changed it, she became a planeswalker in that timeline. So that's Sarkhan's role, is really just, saving Ugin, basically. Next we have Watley. She dies. She's another one I don't really care all that much about. She likes dinosaurs. She can talk to dinosaurs. We have Teferi. He looks like he's casting some kind of big old spell in the background, some kind of huge spell in the background. It looks like it's even warping the surrounding scenery into like a focus point in the back, as if he's phasing Ravnica out of existence. I don't really think he has the power to phase Ravnica out anymore. He lost that when the mending happened. Also, I want this card very badly in foil. Sorin. Last time we saw Sorin was stuck in a rock. How he got out of that rock, I have no clue. Nahiri probably wants some answers to that as well, so we will see. Kiora ran away, ashamed. She thought she was doing the right thing. Come to find out, she was working against the plans of the Gatewatch. She wasn't an official member of the Gatewatch, as in there's no oath, but she worked really closely with them. She's definitely an ally of them. In the art here, we see that she still has the Bident of Thassa, so hopefully we see her get to use it, and hopefully she will survive. I love merfolk. She's the only merfolk walker we have. I want her to remain. Teo Varada, the new planeswalker from Gobakon, I believe his plane is called. He's 17 years old. He's a shield mage. He happens to be the worst shield mage in the order on his plane, He will planeswalk for the first time accidentally into the war on Ravnica. So he's got a lot of new sights and experiences waiting on him in this story. You can use shields very offensively and defensively. And look, if you see his shields look sort of like discs. So he can even potentially use those, throwing them, cutting off heads of things. So maybe we'll see some eternal heads being lopped. Domri, never been a big fan of his character. He was, I believe, the youngest planeswalker until Aminatu, the greatest planeswalker. I don't know if I told you guys that yet. She is the most powerful thing ever. Domri appears to be working for Bolas. He's got an axe staff sort of thing with Bolas's horns at the end here in the art. He'll probably end up, part as an ally. There's a mystery walker here. She's this walker. Everyone keeps saying she's Elspeth. I don't know why. Elspeth has dark hair. Like, to me, Elspeth looks very close to if you took Gideon's armor and put it on Liliana. I think, well, it'd be obviously too big, but if it was small enough to fit Liliana, that to me is what Elspeth can be described as. Like, she does not have blonde hair. She would not be Azorius at all. Elspeth is mono white, and now that she's died and come back, it's potentially, she's potentially Orzhov. But she's definitely not going to be Azorius. The woman we have here very clearly looks like an Azorius planeswalker. If we have Ralzeric, whom we know is working for Bolas. I hope he dies. That's about as much as I'm going to say on him. His character honestly just bores me. I'm not a big Izzet person, and his character is just bland to me. Tamiyo. Last we saw her, she was wandering around wondering why it was that Emrakul had chosen her to seal herself in the moon. Tamiyo had the spell. Tamiyo writes down lore. She's a lore master. And by writing down these stories, she's able to cast spells, based on what it is that she's writing. Well, she had one spell that would have ended it, could destroy an entire plane, and she was saving that spell for when it might be needed. However, Emrakul took control of her during, what is that, Shadows over Innistrad? Yeah, took control over her during Eldritch Moon, it was, and used Tamiyo's spell, rewrote it to seal herself in the moon. Emrakul wanted to take a nap. She wasn't ready to be on the plane, so she sealed herself in Innistrad's moon. Karn, who agreed to come fight Bolas, but isn't part of the Gatewatch. He really wants to get back to, I believe, New Phyrexia and set off the Golgothian Silex, a huge bomb, to blow it all up. He hates the Phyrexians, understandably so. They tried to complete him. Angrath just made it home, man. He had been trapped on Ixalan for like the last 14 years and was missing his daughters terribly. At the end of Ixalan, he's freed. He gets to go home. I'm not sure what the plane is called, if it's a plane we know or an unknown plane. But he goes home, and he sees his two daughters who are grown women now, and neither of them have had the opportunity to marry, keeping his smithy open, in his absence. But when he sees them, they all stop, and tears are had, and they've missed their dad. He's missed his daughters, and does not look like he's had very much time to reconnect with them before arriving here on Ravnica. So, sorry, Angrath. Hopefully you'll survive so you can make it back home to your daughters. Dovin Bond. This Vidalkin. Now, in his stained glass art, there's a lot of controversy because he only has 5 fingers. As a Kaladeshi Vidalkin, he should have 6 of them. 6 fingers. You get it. But he only has 5, so we're hoping when they release this art without the stained glass effect on him that the error isn't there and he has his 6th finger, or it's going to make a lot of people's eye twitch. Johnny's been scouring the universe looking for the multiverse, looking for planeswalkers to come and assist in the battle with Bolas. So it looks like he's done a pretty good job if he is the reason that most of these people are here. He will not die. Narset will not die either. So we'll move on to Nahiri. who last we saw was a woman scorned, in which hell hath no fury like. She is responsible for sealing Sorin in the wall when Sorin, after she broke out of the Hella Vault that Sorin had put her in because she got angry with him about not coming to Zendikar when the Eldrazi awoke. She was pissed. He learned literally the hard way. Ugin. Ugin is here to take on his brother. Now, every time I have seen Ugin, he seems so cowardly when it comes to Bolas. He's like, oh, it's my brother, but it's my brother. You know, Nissa the coward. Nissa the cowardice. Nissa ran away. Well, I shouldn't say she's a coward. She's just weak. I don't know if that's better. Nissa got upset because Liliana, she could feel that Liliana was using them on Dominaria to help her defeat her last demon, and she didn't want to go along with that. Bolas had just really given them a crushing defeat on Amonkhet, and she no longer wanted to be a part of the Gatewatch. She feels like they're fighting a losing battle, and she just doesn't want to see another plane ravaged by Bolas the Ravager. So she went back to her plane, or at least that's where I suspect she went. And hopefully we'll see her die on this plane, because I'm not a big fan of Nissa anymore. I really did not like it when she turned her back away from them. Chandra. Chandra, we know, survives. Again, she's the main star of the comic that takes place after this. She will be the de facto red pyromancer planeswalker in the universe, the most powerful of them, thanks to the lessons that Jaya Ballard has imparted upon her before her untimely death. Lastly, Vivian. She was created for the purpose of having her plane be destroyed by Bolas. So everything she's done up to this point has been to find Bolas so she can shoot him with her arrow full of animals and kill him. There's some art that we've seen that shows her firing off an arrow. I personally don't think that it's going to work. I think he's going to kill her. Those are my predictions for what's going to happen in War of the Spark. All 36 Planeswalkers. Please, if you enjoy the content, the channel is just starting, but if you would like, share, subscribe. I've ordered 2 boxes of War of the Spark so far, so I really can't wait to get them and do a box opening with you guys. And hopefully my goal is to get a copy of every single walker. So any additional walkers that I get, I want to make some kind of contest so I can give those out to people and send those out to people. Thanks again. And as always, Vorthon, Vorthos.